because I'm actually like a born again Peter Quillin fan, I guess you can call it. He weighed in at 161.4. And he's going to stay at 161.4. Andy Lee, the WBO 160-pound champion of the world, 159.6. And it is official that the fight will be a non-title fight. Now, remember, back in September of 2014, Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin vacated his WBO title for crazy reasons, for controversial reasons. And from my understanding, Al Heyman really wanted him to get this title and for this to be a title shot. And now, win or loss for Andy Lee's still going to be the champion at 160 pounds. So which leaves him well open for Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin to feast on him if he still has that belt. But also, win or loss for Andy Lee, he'll still have the belt, and then the mandatory is Billy Joe Saunders, which is a very big fight overseas. By the way, I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live with RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. So today, April the 10th, 2015, it was the weigh-in for the second NBC prime time national television telecast, Premier Boxing Champions. The main event is going to be Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson, and then the co-feature is going to be Andy Lee defending his WBO title against Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin. Well, he was going to be defending his WBO title against Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin, and now that is not happening. So I look at it like this. It's crazy because now fans are going to call it like karma and, like, see, that's what you get because he dropped the belt even though it was not his decision. He dropped the belt, and now that he can't fight for it in a fight that was supposed to be for the belt, and fans felt that he shouldn't have been getting the title shot anyway. So I guess I'm looking at it like, well, now he has to go out there and not just beat Andy Lee, and I'm talking about to erase some of the stink out of the air that the fans have. He just doesn't have to go out there and beat Andy Lee, but this has to be a fight of the year type situation where fans, at the end of the match, they're just like, yeah, like one of those type crazy matches, because the controversy around the fight, title shot or not, if it becomes one of those crazy fights, one of those fight of the year candidates, it could be a rematch, and then Peter Quillin could be fighting for that title that he vacated twice. And I see I put it this way, I see it happening. Now, fans are going to say, well, that's what he get for ducking Golovkin. I look at it like this. I don't see that he ducked. I guess probably because I know so much about the sport of boxing right now, I don't say that he ducked Golovkin. There was other plans for him, obviously. But what I do believe is, if a Golovkin versus a Peter Quillin were to happen, it would have to happen on national television. But at this point in time, with the in-house boxing, with Premier Boxing Champions, I just don't know. But this is definitely a blow to him, because now, what's your next fight going to be? If Andy Lee beats you, what's your next fight going to be if you beat Andy Lee? What are you going to go after, the WBA title? Or what are you going to fight, Hassan Endam or what's his name? David Lemieux. We don't know if Rock Nation and Al Heyman have a working relationship yet. So maybe the Peter Quillin versus Miguel Cotto fight, that would be, in my opinion, a 50-50 fight, if you ask me. So there's options out there for him after this fight. And once again, if you don't know, it's a non-title fight. And honestly, I got to admit that I'm upset. But then I think, like, well, he was off since last year. What was his last fight against Lucas Yonyetny? It's been about a year, if not a little over a year. As you can see, he was walking around a little heavy, even though he was ripped, and he was cut, and in shape today. Still, I'm thinking his next fight is going to be at 160, but dropping that weight, for this fight, it all depends on when he started. And now, of course, before they stepped on the scales, they had to know that he wasn't going to make weight, or he was going to have issues. Now, we don't know if he was getting sick or whatever the case may be, because he didn't have like the 2 hours to go try to make weight. So in my opinion, it looks like they was just like, well, we know you just can't make the weight, period. We don't want you to be like super drained going in there and then end up losing. That'd be worse. But usually it's a shame, because, history has proven to us that a lot of times, when fighters don't make weight, it's usually like a bad omen going into the fight, as far as, they may lose, or it may show that they have some weaknesses, or they're not, in the best shape. So when you look at the fact that the first PBC card, it was Adrian Broner. You look at this card, it was Peter Quillin, and then you look at the fact that Lamont Peterson, he was having some issues with weight as well early. I mean, on the main event as far as the weigh-in is concerned. So even though he did make weight, you're thinking to yourself, well, what is up with these guys? You know, don't they understand? It's like, yo, this is national television. You know, so he needs to sit down with these guys and, you know, talk to them, because now this is another event. Even when it came to the Spike TV with Roberto Ortiz. Roberto Ortiz or Garcia? Roberto Garcia. Yeah, Roberto Garcia. The one that was supposed to fight Sean Porter. Yeah, Roberto Garcia, when you look at his situation, you know, he was, it looks like to us, or it seems to us, that he was trying to kill himself to make weight. So, you know, I just don't know. They need to clean it up. They need to clean up their act. I'm T Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com, and we cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.